Hi everyone, welcome. I'll just invite some more people in and then we'll get Jess on the screen. Hope you've had a lovely day. Makes a change being live on a Wednesday. Oh, there's some more people beeping coming in. Make sure your phones are on silent, that's probably a good start. Bear with me, there's just a couple more people I'm inviting in and then I'll get Jess on board. So who's here? Hi Kim, hi Bianca, hi Lorraine, hi Phoebe. So we'll just wait on a few more. So we've got... Just wait for Jess to come in. So how's everybody been? How are you all feeling? Are you ready? Let's try. I've not actually done this before, so let's see. There she is. I'm just gonna add Jess.
Haha!
Hi Jess!
Hello!
We've done it!
Yay! That's great.
Yay, this is great!
And I can't see myself.
So you can, yeah, we can both see ourselves. So Phoebe's really excited that this is really good.
Hi,
So
Phoebe.
thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It was a good excuse to actually get some makeup on.
I know. It's just been such a nice day, hasn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
Lovely. So what I thought we'd do is ask you to introduce yourself because people out there may or may not know you. And then I thought purely and simply tonight is all about guided meditation. It's Mental Health Awareness Week. So I thought it was really appropriate to obviously deliver something for my clients that are obviously feeling the situation at the moment, and it's apparent everywhere. We can't seem to shut away from it. So I think it's really, really apparent for this to happen tonight.
Thank you so much, Alexis. It's interesting that you say about shutting away from it. So I'll introduce myself and I'll explain a little bit about my approach, like the work that I do, and then we'll go through a guided meditation, but also for you guys to go away with perhaps a new perspective on how you can think about and experience anxiety and stress perhaps in different ways. Does that sound okay?
Definitely, because a lot of people out there are feeling that. They really are.
Yeah. Did you lose me for a second there?
No, you just got back. Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit, but you're just back now.
Okay, let me just see if I can improve that a second before we continue.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Jessica Vassallo. I'm a transformational change coach, and which is a bit odd. Lots of people haven't heard about that. I use hypnotherapy and neuro-linguistic programming to help people change their experience, to shift their thinking, therefore how they're feeling, in order to have more balanced, calmer lives. So I work with fears, phobias, habits, and lots of anxiety and stress, because often even overeating, emotional eating, comes from a place of anxiety and stress, and that being overweight is the symptom, for example. So it all started for me 8 years ago, I was working for a military charity, and a man walked into my office one afternoon. I was organising events back then, which was really exciting. And this guy walked into my room, and he'd been suffering from post-traumatic stress. And we spent the afternoon together, and I realised that, I don't know, we just made a connection, and we're still friends now. And I watched over the next year to 18 months his complete transformation. He he went from walking into work and finding himself the next minute on the cliffs, and his family were just all over the place as well, to actually completely turning his life around and setting up his own charity where he helps like frontline workers and veterans. Thank you, Phoebe. I'm just reading your comment.
She's so nice.
Yes, I have a habit of putting people to sleep when I talk. Yeah, so and then I met Tyrone, who was really into neuro-linguistic programming. I encouraged him to go on a course, and he booked the course, and then I was like, I want to do this too. So I've been studying for 6 years, and the reason why I'm not just a hypnotherapist is because of the breadth of reading and studying of other disciplines, because everybody that comes to see me is their own unique individual, and I like to have as many things in my toolkit as possible to be able to help them. I mean, we've even done self-defense once with a lady who being bullied at work, and I used a self-defense technique I'd learned in a boot camp. So we pull out all kinds of things to just help shift that experience, help people feel empowered, know that they have the skills and the resources to be able to cope in all these situations. So neuro-linguistic programming is a mouthful. But when we break it down, it kind of, I find the explanation really helpful. So neuro is about our minds. Yeah. And scientists have learned that you can new tricks. We don't need to stick in those patterns of behavior anymore. Yeah, linguistic is about communicating to others. So lots of people I meet come across NLP through sales coaching that they've had, and they'll have a one-day business course. But I've taken it to a next level using it in the context of change work, because it's also linguistic. It's about communicating to ourselves and the stories that we tell ourselves that are helpful or unhelpful. So telling ourselves I'm ugly or I'm stupid is just not helpful.
No, it's not.
So then we can...
It's not. Or I have bad skin. You're going to almost encourage bad skin upon yourself if you tell yourself it's got bad.
Exactly. Or
yeah,
I can't drink water. You know, the day's disappeared and I just can't do it. Well, that's a story, you know. Our brains love repetition. So the more often we repeat that story of I can't drink water, for example, or I don't have enough time for a skincare routine, yeah, then we're going to believe it. Yeah. Muhammad Ali didn't say to the world, I'm a terrible boxer. He said, I'm the best boxer in the world, even when he wasn't the best boxer in the world. And he made that happen. Because words are like spells. That's why we call them spellings. We cast spells on ourselves.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
So I love it too. So why don't we make those spells flipping useful ones?
Yeah, let's do it.
We use all that thinking time, don't we? And fill our heads with what one of my clients called her dirty parrot. So our dirty parrot says like the really unhelpful things, and she just flicks it off her shoulder.
I like that. But we're filled with so many messages every day, whether it's radio, whether we pick up a book or magazines, social media. We're filled with messages, which obviously we have a choice to read, but sometimes it's hard to not avoid those choices.
Yeah. And also what we can do this evening through the guided meditation is, I mean, choice is so powerful. I love the concept of choice. But what we can do is help us change our experience of those messages that are around us and within us, to go from reacting to responding.
Nice. Yeah.
So the reacting comes from that part of us that goes into fight or flight. So, you know, to put it this way, when we were cavemen, men and women back in the day, and there was a threat of a T-Rex coming along and gobbling us up, we didn't stew about it for 24 hours. You know, we'd either live or die. You know, and the adrenaline that pumped through our body was about us fleeing, escaping, and keeping us safe. So that part of us is really important to protect us. But as we've evolved, and as we live in this modern world, hi Jackie.
Hi.
and Will and Denise and Lena and everyone else, thank you for joining us. What happens is, what becomes a threat is the potential of losing a job, or not paying the bills, or unhelpful boss, or you know, all kinds of other situations that then become the threat, and threats that we can't shake off, like the T-Rex would either kill us or it wouldn't, and we'd survive. What happens often is that, particularly at the moment, and I am particularly concerned about the negativity, and I know that some channels have tried to balance out the stories with positive stories as well, but it's the knock-on effect of how we're going to react and respond in situations on the back of our experience of COVID-19. So, but there are ways of changing those trigger responses in those situations, so that we don't go into fight or flight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people are obviously feeling confined at the moment. I know I am, because I'm in such a service-driven environment. I have realized how much I rely on communicating. I'm a very like touchy-feely person, so I show my emotions through like hugging people, shaking somebody's hand if you know they're new, and those sorts of things are going to be very different now. And currently, this is how I'm communicating with people if they're not in my home. So it's the new normal that everybody's having to adapt to, and it's just playing on our minds a lot, time to think. So I think tonight will really help to focus our thoughts, and when we, like you've been saying, when we get into those fight or flight modes, how we get out of them and what techniques we can do to really help that situation.
Yeah. Well, I think in response to that, it starts from the inside out. So very much the experience, like I love hugging as well, and it does feel odd, but before we approach a situation, it's the ability to go inside of ourselves and use our imagination, because our imagination doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So we can go into our mind and think about a time where we felt really accomplished, like when we've really done something, even if you're at home. I mean, the wins that you've had with setting up your business lately. Okay, when you think about the last thing that you were really chuffed about. Yeah, there you go. Now take the ring finger and thumb and hold on to that feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
Now And that's your ring of awesome. So every time when you think about that thing that you achieved, yeah, and you hold on to that feeling, and it's like a Bill and Ted's like bogus adventure. Right, every time you experience something like that, fire that off, that ring of awesome, when you felt really good. Even the smallest thing that you've achieved, sometimes it's an achievement getting out of bed for somebody, you know, and it's like, yes, I did it, I did it. And the more often we do it, because our brain loves repetition, the more often you fire that off, the next time you're about to go into a situation that is uncomfortable, that you might feel a wave of emotion coming up inside you that is negative, boom, you fire this off.
I like it.
And you remember, see, that smile came straight back. You smile easily anyway. So that's called a kinesthetic anchor, and it's a connection between our mind and we connect with that feeling physiologically.
I know. That is such a long word.
And by connecting with it, because how we think affects how we feel, and how we feel affects how we behave. And sometimes that thinking, or more often than not, that thinking just comes from the way that we're seeing the world. And that can come through certain beliefs and around different situations, so that, okay, we might be seeing the world through blue lenses.
Oh my God, I love that. Where's my pen?
So, when we look at the world through a certain kind of lens, okay, it's us looking through the lens and projecting our thoughts onto the world, okay, because how we're thinking, those beliefs will affect how we feel, and we project that out onto the world. So if we're thinking, oh, funny story, so I had a dream that I fell out with my friend. Okay, so I woke up in the morning with all these feelings that me and my friend had fallen. Okay, so I was coming from this place of, we've had an argument. So I could have potentially projected those feelings out onto the world, towards her. But then I realized it was a dream. It was a story I'd made up. So when I received the message from her, I had my sunshine glasses on. And
this is so good.
Completely different experience. Oh, they've got a mark on them. Hang on. That was a different, completely new way of seeing the world, and changed completely how I felt and how I approached the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And when something happens, like somebody says, I've got to keep them on for a bit. When somebody says something, you know, gives us a look, we can react in a certain way.
100%.
But we get our ring of awesome, we get grounded, we go inside ourselves. When you practice it, it takes a second to know that you can go to that place, and the very next thing you do will be coming from a stronger position, a stronger state, meaning like from a stronger emotion. Jackie's laughing at me. This idea came from one of my teachers, Kelly T. Wood. She's amazing. She had some of these and I had to get some.
I love them. I wish I got the memo. I clearly didn't.
I tell you now, I remembered these at 7:28.
Did you? Well, that's better late than never.
Yeah. So does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys listening out there? How where we're coming from changes the way we will react and respond, and the way we'll see the world. So being able to use this anchor, it seems so simple. It will interrupt the thought and the behavior and remind you to go place of strength,
Yeah.
of power, you know.
Yeah, dreams, I think a lot of people will resonate with that, because when you feel that stress and anxiety, a lot of people start to have these weird dreams of falling, or like you said, they have an argument with a friend or an argument with a partner, and they wake up hoping that it was all a dream, but in some ways it feels like a reality. And it's so hard to snap out of that when it's still on your mind. So yeah, I'll definitely remember the technique of just blocking it and pushing it away, getting my ring out, and just looking at it from a different angle, because it can feel really real.
Well, not dreams. So there's dreams, and then let's just see what Phoebe said. Yeah, that's true. And we can have daydreams. So when we're born, we're a blank canvas. We know nothing. Okay. And then we start to form our view of the world. And often that view of the world is influenced by the significant people around us and events. So how many grandmothers, mothers and daughters, this is a stereotype, or grandfathers, fathers and sons are afraid of spiders?
That was me.
I have to save my son from spiders. Often they're learned behaviours, they're patterns that we notice and we pick up. And that can come through in the way that we're seeing the world as well. And that can come through teachers and events and experiences that we have in our life. And then our brains are really clever. We form like a blueprint, and we have these, we could call them trances, where something happens, say even it's cold outside. Okay, our brain and our body tell us to shiver. That's a pattern. However, my friend, who's like a tiny little gorgeous Buddhist lady, has taught herself she doesn't shiver. She imagines that she has a fire burning inside her, and she will go out in the middle of winter with no coat on.
Yeah, and it's teaching yourself.
Yeah, so she has learned a completely different pattern of behavior in that context. So what we do is like when we're 6. So this is how I approach hypnotherapy. Okay, and this will lead us into the guided visualization. So NLP is about shifting the thoughts and the patterns and those old programs that just aren't helpful anymore. And we start repeating new patterns. Yeah, new patterns. And the more often we repeat that pattern, the more automatic that response becomes. Yeah. So that somebody might go through an event in their life where they just can't get out of bed in the morning. And then they consciously start doing new things. They consciously start writing a gratitude journal and being able to help themselves see the things that they're grateful for, even from waking up in the morning and having a pillow under their head. And when you first do it, it can seem hard. It can seem uncomfortable. But the more often you repeat that pattern, the more automatic it becomes, to the point where you're not writing a journal anymore. You'll just open your eyes in the morning, or even before you open your eyes in the morning, and just think, oh, I'm just so lucky.
Yeah.
And not even be aware of feeling so lucky. Just boop, up, you're out of bed and you're off. Yeah. So it's going through that change, that transformation. And then, so hypnosis is an invitation to be open and curious, like we are when we're children, like we are when we're sponges, absorbing all that information. Okay, and then what happens at some point as we get older is we have this between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, we have this thing called the critical faculty. Or I see it like a soldier standing on guard to the subconscious mind, where we have all this vast information that's just so much to absorb, and we sort it, we delete, we generalize, and we distort that information, and we come up with these patterns of thinking, so that we say, oh, in this situation, this is like this. So when it's cold, I shiver. You know, in this situation, this is like that. Tea and a biscuit. You know, who doesn't have a biscuit with a cup of tea? We have we have these patterns. And then
Definitely.
yeah. And also this means this, which is, you know, for anyone who's been overthinking, this meaning this can, you know, go on for days, can't it, if left unchecked?
Yeah.
So what we do with hypnosis is we open your mind to those new possibilities, focusing on what you do want instead, and putting not you to sleep, but the yes but, that soldier standing on duty, so that we can go in and be creative and explore and just everything is just so much more possible. And when that change is accepted, those old patterns that are unhelpful patterns are replaced by the new patterns more quickly, more accepted. Lost my thread then, didn't I? I'm getting more excited. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that's interesting and that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. It's really nice to hear about the sort of background, because a lot of people, you hear about meditation, and like you've been saying, there are so many different avenues of what is right for somebody, and it's just about training yourself to ask for positivity, because if you ask for positivity, it's going to replicate, and if you are feeling negative, it's just going to attract negativity.
Yeah, so like I say, so let us do this, and I'll show you, we can show everybody then. So if you put your hands together like this for me. How does that feel?
Nice.
Yeah, good. Now switch your hands to the other way round. And how does that feel in comparison?
I think it feels better.
Does it? Okay. So put your hands like this for me. Okay. And now move your fingers up. No, sorry. How does that feel?
Yeah, that feels comfortable.
Yeah. Now move your fingers up. One. And how does that feel in comparison?
Two of my thumbs are touching, so awkward.
So it feels awkward. Okay, so keep switching from how it felt okay to how it felt awkward. And just keep flicking your fingers forwards and backwards. And I wonder if you guys are joining in doing this as well. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, how are people finding this?
Yeah. So keep doing that. Now, at first, when we make a change, it feels awkward, uncomfortable, a bit weird. But the more often we do it, the more comfortable it gets. Yeah, please do likes and loves, and just keep interacting with us so we know you're there. Thank you. Yeah.
I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel okay.
Thank you. So the more often we do it, the more comfortable that becomes. So that if we were in a dark room and we had one spotlight, okay, you wouldn't use that spotlight. That's right, Phoebe. You wouldn't use that one spotlight to shine it on the negative. You'd use it to shine it on the positive. You could shine it on the negative, but you wouldn't feel very good. Yeah, so at first, it's getting used to shining it on the positive and then getting the rewards from that. And the more often we're rewarded by that, the easier it gets to focus on that, because then we realize just how exhausting focusing on the negative is. Yeah. And yes, there are real problems going on. People are experiencing so many difficulties, like with businesses and work and relationships, health, and all kinds of fears. But actually adding anxiety and stress on top of that, it's just debilitating and doesn't actually give us the power that we need to actually respond in a helpful way and make the changes. Good, Gemma Louise, more comfortable. Yeah. Oh.
It's nice.
Comforting.
Yeah, it is.
And reassuring, isn't it? Because just in that simple little thing to do, it gives hope that change actually is easy. You know, and how quickly we adjust and respond. I keep using respond a lot tonight.
Yeah, I think it makes you concentrate on something else, but then it just becomes normal.
Well, that's another thing. It's you know, when we're overthinking, it can be hard to know how to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And overwhelmed with all the messages.
Yeah.
And are we doing the right thing? Are we doing the wrong thing? That's all the questions that I don't know about anybody out there. If you've got any questions that you want to ask, or you're finding that are difficult with your mind and what's playing on your mind at the moment, but it's constant. I'm personally not having the radio on because it's just repetitive. You know, every half an hour the news comes on and there's either something even more depressing or something just really, it's always breaking news, and it automatically your heart rate just goes and you think, oh, and it's just, yeah, it's constant messaging that you do or don't want to hear.
Yeah,
I think.
So you guys that are watching, if you'd like to write a word or a couple of words of something that you feel that you need right now, or somebody that you know needs right now, that I could maybe, you know, I could introduce in our guided visualization session, that would help you.
What's Gemma said? So Gemma said, I think when will the normality resume? Yeah, if I had an end date, it would be easier. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally resonate with that.
Yeah.
It's almost like if everything goes well, 4th of July you can open. If, but if's a bit of a vague word.
Yeah, and it's meaning that other people are in control of our future. What I would say, Gemma, is it Gemma? Gemma Louise, Gemma.
Yeah.
What I would say, Gemma, and to everybody else is, I don't know if you've heard of Eckhart Tolle, or Tolle, Eckhart Tolle, they call him. So he wrote a book called The Power of Now. And I think that particularly in a situation like this, is that yes, we want to plan ahead for a future, and that feels uncertain at the moment. But also I think the power very much is in now and in our present now, and and being in control of what we can control right now. Yeah, I hear you, Jackie. I'll tell you I'll tell you a little trick I did recently. So yes, I think sometimes when things out there are most difficult, it's just the very next step that we can do. And I don't know what business you're in, Gemma, but it's how you can potentially adapt now. And who knows, you might actually make adaptations to your life and your business and be able to see the future like in a different way. Because sometimes what happens is we hold on to what was, we hold on to the past and we want to keep it as it was for fear of what might be in the future. But actually, what if that future was even more amazing than it already has been? And you just hadn't been in that position of creatively thinking of a different way. And that's a wonderful way of taking control back now. I was meant to start my new practice in London on the 1st of April, and I could have been in a whole world of pain with all the preparations I'd made leading up to it and being there and wanting to announce it. And I could have really spiraled into a whole hot mess, really. And I had to adapt. I didn't have to adapt. I could have been in that world of pain, but I chose to adapt in a way that was comfortable for now. And it was scary. It was a growth thing for me, but I've taken a course that I've delivered locally and now I'm delivering it online. And I didn't think I'd be able to do that for years. So it's actually created an opportunity for me. So so I hope that's helpful. So Jackie, I know I love hugging as well, and I met my goddaughter who's only 8, and she just wanted to jump on me, and so I did this thing with her where she was standing in front of me, and I told her to hug herself. And I hugged myself, and we closed our eyes and we pretended that we were hugging each other. And I said, "No, squeeze tighter. I'm squeezing you tighter."
Oh,
And
that's
she
nice.
loved that. She loved that. So it was a substitute, but it was funny as well.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
nice. So Phoebe is she's saying she really needs to get better at focusing the present. She plans everything, and things aren't going her way at the moment, and it stresses her out even more.
Mm.
Yeah.
So she plans everything.
Yeah, she almost she takes control of situations. She's almost like the one that does everything, the one people rely on,
Yeah.
that sort of person.
Okay. I wonder why that's a problem at the moment, particularly. I would want to know that, because that's a skill surely that would be helpful at the moment, I would have thought. Yeah, interesting. So Gemma, you're in the same trade as Alexis. Management. The book will be purchased after.
Yeah, I need to write the name of that book down. I was just so in awe of you talking.
Oh yes. So The Power of Now, I know it used to be available on YouTube for free.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you'd need to look for. I could always put the link in there.
Yeah.
I can post that there. I don't feel I've answered Phoebe very well. So I could put the link to the book in there, and also you might want to listen to Dr. Wayne Dyer. He's quite good.
Is that a podcast or is it an audio book?
Lots on YouTube. Yeah, lots on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what's going on with Phoebe, but I'm gonna obviously wait for her to share if she wants to. But yeah, she's one of these people that is just she's actually an events coordinator, so she plans for a living.
Oh, that's what I used to do. You a Scorpio, Phoebe?
She's October actually. October
Oh, Libra.
Gonna kill me
Libra, then.
22nd. I'm gonna go with the 22nd, and if I'm wrong, Phoebe, then I'll slap my wrist. Yeah, she's 22nd of October. But yeah, she's an events coordinator, so she organises for a living. And then I think what she's trying to get at is, at the moment, because she's working from home and in her own private life, she's organising that as well. So it's overwhelming to be around it in a confined situation.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm happy to talk more, Phoebe. I think my experience, I used to be an event organizer, I mentioned earlier, and I think you already hear, Phoebe. So I used to organize 5-star charity auction dinners in Park Lane, and but I couldn't organize an evening meal. So, and the good thing here is, so part of neuro-linguistic programming is, in the programming, it's modeling ourselves or another person. So when you look at somebody else and you say they do something really well, how could I do that? So for example, my friend Joanna, who has a very good skincare routine, I asked her what she did, but you break it down into minute detail and then copy the steps that she takes. Like somebody who gets up out of bed really very well in the morning, you would break it down into detail and ask them, what they see, how they feel, like what they hear. You would break that down. But without it going too much into detail, when I was really doing badly at putting a meal on the table, it was because I was thinking of everything else and I wasn't seeing. So when I organised an event, I would imagine it coming together and feeling really good. So, but I wasn't doing that for an evening meal. Yay, 22nd. I wasn't doing that for an evening meal. I was just thinking, something on the table. So what I started doing when I identified that the event would go well, because I would see it all coming together and feel good. So then I started seeing my dinner all coming together and feeling good, to put it in that simplistic terms. So then I applied my approach for event management into the home, and then that worked really well. So I did a copy and paste.
Right, yeah.
So imagine how amazing you are at organising events, Phoebe. You apply those skills into your current circumstances at the moment to help you feel more in control. And I've got a template I can send as well. So lots of my friends found this really helpful, because what does a new normal mean anyway? However, I have a table. It was designed by Stephen Covey. It's a book called The Seven Habits of Highly Successful People. But this was really something that I took away from this book. And what you do is you think about the roles that are important to you, the roles that you play in your life, and what you want to have in your 24/7. Whether that's fitness, health, fun. I had a lady come to see me who had 3 children and a business, and she was craving being in her 20s, and we were like, so we explored that, and like, well, what is it about when you were in your 20s that you miss? And it was being spontaneous, because everything in her week was about planning the packed lunches on time, getting the children to school, being there for classes that she was delivering. Boom, boom, boom. Everything had to be organised. And that part of her that wanted to be footloose and fancy free was like screaming at her. And that's why she was feeling these negative feelings, this frustration and dissatisfaction. So with this timetable, she scheduled in spontaneity on a Saturday.
Love that.
And then that part of her knew Because that part of her was thinking, well, that's it, that's gone out of the window. But that part of her then relaxed because it knew that that spontaneity was coming on Saturday, because it was scheduled in.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
We can plan to relax too.
Yeah, we can. And I bought a whiteboard recently because I find that everything's in my mind, and if it's in my mind, I put pressure on myself to do all of these things, when actually, if I wrote them down, scheduled how much time that they would take, it would cut my time in half so that I could have my free spells to watch the Kardashians in the evening.
Guilt free.
And you know what I mean.
I'm just reading what Phoebe's put.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like this thought process. It's really good.
Okay, really well, good. I mean, the beauty of being a planner is manifestation. Yeah. So Phoebe, you can plan how you want your life to be, how you want it to look, not be controlled by other people that are telling you how it should be. You can plan how you want your life to be, and you can use your imagination, because like I said, the imagination doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So on the 1st of April, I started my practice in Harley Street. 3 years ago, I had a photo taken outside Harley Street, and I said, I'm going to be here. At the time, I said 18 months. It took a little bit longer, but I made it.
Yeah.
Okay, so put out there. It's not like putting it out to the universe. It's thinking about what you do want in your life and imagining it and seeing yourself doing it. Because if you don't, those opportunities will go past you and you won't even see them. Yeah, so it's a particular thing. It's called our reticular activation system. So have you ever like bought a car and you'd never seen one before, and then you suddenly start seeing them everywhere?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Or you hear
now I've got one. Yeah, I've got a new car and I see it
everywhere.
Oh
yeah,
I do.
Or you hear a word. Some people might hear a word or a song, and then suddenly start hearing it everywhere. What it is, it activates our reticular activation system. So it makes us aware of that thing. They were already all there, but suddenly we become aware of it. I see that resonates with somebody else. So that's how it works when we talk about law of attraction. When you hear people talk about law of attraction, this is the kind of way that I see it, is you put out what you want, and then you're more likely to notice it and notice those opportunities and take those opportunities where you wouldn't have seen them or even considered them before.
No, it's like when Will actually surprised me with a puppy, and then I keep seeing cockapoos everywhere. Or I just noticed dogs walking on the side of the road, whereas I wouldn't even taken notice of dogs before until they were right in front of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really does. Yeah, it happens.
So it's like Premiership footballers. They're not. This is about going back to the stories that we tell ourselves. They rehearse, they use their imagination before they even go onto a football pitch to repeat and rehearse, watching themselves confidently walking up to the ball and kicking it right into the spot where they want it to go in the net. And they repeat that, and they have done that thousands and thousands of times before they actually physically go and do it. So their mind and their body already know what to expect, and their expectation is success. Because if they walked up to that ball telling themselves, well, I'm going to cop this right up, that's not helpful.
No.
And they're more likely to fulfill that, what do they call it now? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell yourself you can't do it, then you're not likely to do it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Great.
A little drink. I talk a lot.
I know, quite parched after all that talking.
So did anyone see the photos that I posted of the faces of war?
No, I didn't.
I posted just before, and I don't know that we can share on here, can we? No.
I've got another phone here, so I could show the screen, if that helps.
Okay, yeah. So I was
Okay.
with the idea of anxiety and stress and the toll that it takes on our body. I've I've actually had clients come to my clinic and leave 10 years, leave an hour later looking 10 years younger. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, you saw them, Gemma. Yeah.
That's what we want.
So there were three photos of the same woman and three photos of the same man, and they just look so different. So they're photos of them before, during, and after the Afghanistan conflict.
Right.
Mm. I posted it on the event.
On the event.
Mm.
Oh yeah, there we are. So if people can like my ring light down. So
Yeah.
there's the woman.
So as you're looking at it, the woman you're seeing her. So on the right is before. As we look at it, especially the woman, I mean, she looks so different. And during, like, even during, they look like the colour of their eyes have changed. If you just pop it up a little bit, Alexis, and then the men, especially the guy in the middle, after, just looks so different, so changed. And I don't know if anyone's seen the before and after of the US presidents during their terms in office, and even the prime ministers of the UK. They just age so much because
they do.
It's that being hypervigilant, that strain on the body. You know, I see people who are constantly shaking, like, and they're in that state. Not a state, but you know, in that their body is in that state all the time, and it is going to take a toll on our well-being, like mentally, physically, emotionally. So, I mean, that's one way I showed you. It's a good pattern interrupt, so it can distract you and stop you thinking, and it can also prepare you before you go into a situation, because it takes you to a place of strength. It takes you to a place where you know you have achieved something. And I think for the people who noticed, Alexis changed. As soon as she looked, she remembered and smiled again, you know, and then you feel it, don't you? And where do you feel that good feeling in your body?
I don't know, I just feel it like in my heart.
Yeah.
Like I can just
exactly.
I just feel it. I feel warm.
Exactly. So, and that's just using the power of our imagination to go to a good experience. And you can tell through that how powerful that mind-body connection is, and that we can be in control of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for liking and loving. Pardon?
Really interesting. Really, really interesting.
I love it. It's just absolutely lovely, and it's a great opportunity to be able to talk about it, and because it's not an easy subject to explain. There's lots of different avenues and metaphors I can use to explain it, and each time would be different. So it's a new perspective. It's a strange idea to really treat anxiety and stress as habits, as very useful strategies that sort of came up at some point in somebody's life that can become overwhelming and exhausting. And it's just about putting that your mind and body at ease to know that it doesn't have to be hypervigilant all the time, that part of us is natural and will trigger and respond when required. It doesn't have to be on high alert all the time to keep us safe. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Donna. Yeah, thank you so much, Jess. It's been, really, really interesting. And I hope that everybody out there has been, getting a lot out of this, and hopefully they can practice these sort of techniques and methods now with what they've explored with tonight.
Right. Well, I didn't actually demonstrate a guided visualization, so I don't know how we are for time, because I do actually have, I could do it now.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay then. Okay, good. I was going to say I've got a recording on my page, which anyone's welcome to. It's free on my page anyway. Thank you, Gemma. Okay, all right, so is everyone up for a guided visualization, a bit of relaxation? Just give me some love. Give me some love. Give me some love. Okay. I haven't seen any loves.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so it's quite, thank you. It's quite unusual that I can't see you. So what I would like you to do is just to make sure that you're comfortable, and if you can, sit. If you're sitting or lying down, if you can, put your feet flat on the floor. If not, that's okay as well. I'd like you to ensure that your head is secure, resting it against a pillow or cushion, just that if it does flop back, that it's supported. And all I ask you to do is listen to my voice and be open and curious, and just follow my lead and you'll have a nice experience. So we're very good at putting tension into our body. We don't often think of it like that, do we, that we're putting tension into our body? But it's an active process. So if we can put tension into our body and have our shoulders right up to our ears, then surely we could also put relaxation into our body. So I'll be inviting you to put relaxation into every part of your body. And we're going to do a nice relaxation and then put some measures in place to help you allow stress to just bounce off you, no matter what's going on around you. And we'll add in some suggestions of youthfulness and glowing complexion, because why not? Okay, so I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth twice as long, all the way down into your tummy. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out tension. Breathing in here and breathing out now. Sometimes we forget how powerful the breath is, and just by breathing in and staying here and now, it brings you right to this moment, right here and right now, as easily as that. And I'd like you to open your eyes if they're closed and look up at the ceiling and find a spot that you can focus on. And I'd like you to keep focused on that spot for a while. As you keep focused on that spot for a while, do your eyelids want to blink? Will those lids blink once or twice or 3 times before they close altogether? Rapidly or more slowly? Will those eyes close now, or will they flutter all by themselves? Will those eyes close more and more? Is your comfort able to go deeper inside? If you haven't closed already, close your eyes now. And when will you soon forget about them altogether? Because your unconscious mind wants you to dream and drift and drift and dreaming, going to a safe place, a wonderful place, a beautiful place in your imagination, a place where you can make changes today. And I'd like you to imagine that you have hair-like roots growing from the soles of your feet. And they're stretching and growing and moving towards the center of the earth, through the floor that you have beneath you, through the house, into the soil, stretching through all the layers, through the core of the earth and reaching out towards the center. And at the center of the earth, I want you to imagine you're seeing yourself now. You're you that felt youthful and glowing and really with a sense of vitality and energy. And I want you to imagine that you now. Notice how you look, the expression on your face. Imagine that you're in a glass ball and that glass ball is full of that energy. And give that energy, that vitality, that youthfulness, whatever that is for you, colour. And as the roots stretch and grow towards the centre of the earth, I want those roots to wrap around that ball and just absorb that energy, that vitality, that youthfulness, that thing that you need, that you know that you need. And as you hold on to that, feel that travelling back through the roots. Bring that back with you all the way back up to the soles of your feet. I'm going to allow that energy to travel through you as we relax every part of your body a little at a time. And each time I say the word relax, you're going to relax 10 times more automatically. Every time I say the word relaxed, you'll become 10 times more relaxed than you already were. So now concentrate particularly on the feelings in your toes and feet. Just allow all the muscles in your toes and feet to become very deeply relaxed. Perhaps you can picture in your mind's eye what that would look like. For all those muscles and tissues to relax, to become loosely and deeply relaxed. Get in the kind of feeling you have when you take off a pair of tight shoes you've had on for a long time. You can just let go of all the tension in your toes and feet and feel that energy spread, that relaxation, that energy that you brought back with you. Feel that spread all the way up into your calves, allowing your calves to relax. Allow that energy to flow like a river of warmth upward into your knees, through your knees, behind your knees, and into your thighs. Letting go of all the tension in your thighs, allowing them to deeply, restfully, and comfortably relax. Just notice a sense of gentle heaviness in your legs as they just sink down limp and comfortably. Continue to let that energy flow upwards and spread at its own pace into the middle part of your body, flowing into your pelvis and abdomen and stomach, through your hips and into your lower back, letting that soothing, deep comfort spread inch by inch and up through your body, from muscle group to muscle group, the whole of your body becoming deeply relaxed. Now that relaxation, that reward, gradually flows upwards into your chest, into your back, between your shoulder blades and into your shoulders, letting go, relaxing just as much as you're able to, allowing that energy, that vitality to flow through your body. As you allow all tension to loosen and flow away, as if somehow just the act of breathing is increasing your comfort. You become more and more relaxed. And allow now that comfort and relaxation to flow into your neck and throat. And it gradually flows up your neck into your scalp, all across your scalp, as if it's bathing your head with waves of comfort and relaxation. Deeply toned. And that relaxation can flow into your head and forehead, and like a gentle wave across your face, nourishing, flowing around your eyes, cooling, soothing, plumping into your cheeks, around your mouth and jaws, letting go of all the tension in your jaw, allowing it to become loose and relaxed, totally relaxed. And allow now that comfort and relaxation to flow back down your neck and across your shoulder, down into your shoulders, down into your arms, your hands, your fingers and your fingertips. If you notice any tension or tightness anywhere in your body, just go to that part of relaxation, into that part of your body. That's right. Really allowing yourself to let go just as much as you're able to. And thoughts may pop into your head, as they often do. But thoughts only become thinking when you add an emotion to it. So you can just allow that thought to drift on by, as though it's floating by on a cloud. Because this is your time, and a very special time for you. Nobody wanting anything. Nobody needing anything. Nobody expecting it. Least of all you. Your mind is in a certain place, open to new ideas, new possibilities. And every idea and suggestion I put into your mind will cause a deep and lasting impression there, and nothing will eradicate it, because these suggestions and instructions will always be for your well-being. Now, every feeling that I tell you of, you will experience exactly as I tell you. Every day now you will become much calmer and clearer, more focused, more clarity of thought. Your nerves will become stronger and steadier. You'll be more composed, more tranquil, more placid. You will become much less easily worried, much less easily agitated, much less easily unconcerned, much less easily fearful and apprehensive, much less easily upset. You'll be able to think more clearly, concentrate more easily. Every day you will become emotionally much calmer, much more settled, both mentally and physically. Every day now you will feel a greater feeling of personal safety and security than you have felt for a long, long time. I would like you now to imagine that you're standing outside a very tall wall with a large wooden door. There's a handle on the door, and as you turn the handle it opens easily before you, and you walk into the most beautiful garden you've ever seen. This is a very special place. Take off your shoes and walk barefoot on the grass. See the flowers, the wonderful colours. Smell the aroma of the wonderful flowers, the grass and the trees. See the browns and greens of the trees. See the leaves fluttering in the gentle breeze. The birds singing in the trees. Now find a place for you to lie down. Rest your head back and look up at that clear blue sky where the sun is shining gently and all is well in the world. And as you look up at the sky, so you notice one white fluffy cloud. And as you look at it peacefully and lovingly, so you notice it begins to descend from the sky, slowly, gently, floating down towards you, until eventually you're enveloped by this wonderful soft cloud. It gently massages your body, soothing and healing with a very gentle energy, and you feel calm, safe and secure. You can feel the soothing energy gently massaging the whole of your body. Now you can feel the energy of the cloud beginning to penetrate your body, in through the pores, flowing through your body and pushing out any remaining tensions, any negative thoughts being pushed out through your fingertips and toes, all those bad feelings being pushed out. You're left feeling calm, relaxed, carefree, nobody wanting anything, nobody needing anything, nobody expecting anything from you. You're calm, safe and secure, because that cloud is placed a protective shield around your body, protecting you totally from outside pressure. It's an invisible shield around your body and will remain there. You can feel your body tingle with pure, healthy, soothing energy. You can enjoy the wonderful, clear, pure, fresh air. So take a deep breath, and as you breathe out, you are relaxing deeper and deeper. You are relaxing deeper and deeper. And as you continue to relax, feel yourself relaxed with your feelings, relaxed with your thoughts, as you allow them to drift on by. And should any unwanted pressure come to you, you know that you are surrounded by an invisible shield from that cloud that will protect you from pressure always. The shield from that cloud will protect you from pressure always. No matter where it comes from or who sends it, it just bounces off and away. You are protected from tension and anxiety. Feel yourself relax. Know that you are in control of your choices. You have the choice to be calm, relaxed, and completely at ease with your environment. You have the choice to be stressed, nervous, or easily upset. And you now choose to experience life in a calm and relaxed way, and to flow easily with life's ups and downs. And every night when it's your natural time to go to sleep, you'll fall into a deep and comfortable sleep, waking the next day, feeling refreshed, invigorated and ready for a brand new day. Because every day from now on is a new day, a positive day and a confident day. Every single day from now on is a new day, a positive day and a confident day. Every day from now on is a new day, a positive day and a confident day. In a moment, I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And with each number, you're going to come back slowly and carefully to the here and now, feeling refreshed, invigorated, with an overwhelming sense of calm and well-being that you will carry with you way beyond our time here today. 5, 4, feeling all the muscles and fibers in your body tingling and waking up. 3, feeling the cold, fresh mountain air in the back of your nose and the back of your throat. And 2, take a nice deep breath in. And 1, open your eyes at your own time and pace.
Oh, that was so nice. I feel really relaxed.
Oh.
Oh,
Can I get some loves to know that you're all awake?
Yeah, send us some love hearts or thumbs up. How did you find that? I'm going to flop. I need to. I brought in some water.
Yeah. Well, everyone just keep that relaxation. It's evening now. Thank you. Yeah, it's the evening now, and you can have just a nice, calm, relaxed evening and have a wonderful sleep tonight. And you'll wake up, and I'm sure things will look just a little bit different tomorrow. Thank you, Donna.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel really relaxed.
Yeah.
Really relaxed. I've loved it. Honestly, I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Jackie. Oh, it's so lovely. I mean, wow, this is just so new doing this online. So
No, she can't nap. She really doesn't nap.
Straight away. So thank you, everybody, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. It's been a benefit.
Yeah, and Jess is available outside